Today, we're staying in. No errands, no lists, and no rushing. Some days, I just want a little break, and if that also includes an escape, even better. So today, we're searching for that perfect mood read. Hello friends, and welcome to another soft and cozy video. I know you're thinking, Melissa, you did a cozy video last week, and you're right. But on my community tab, I asked, hey, how are you guys doing? And some of you said you are feeling cozy and comfy, which is fantastic. I love that feel. And some of you said you're feeling ready for winter, which I agree. I am feeling the winter feels. I am feeling ready to have like a big glass of Glühwein, which is hot wine with spices. But I'm not there just yet. I'm still kind of enjoying the pumpkin mood. And most of you said that you're feeling tired and worn out, and I feel you. I think it's fascinating that no matter how much rest we get, we still feel tired and worn out, and I honestly think it's just being an adult or an older person. Not even older person. think I started feeling this way when I was about 19. But it really hit when I hit about 27, I think. And then in my 30s, it's just, enough about me. We're here to kind of find a way to rejuvenate you. And I thought what we could do is do a very soft and cozy day. I wanted to find a book that I want to read. So this is going to be a book I haven't started yet. I know that sounds really goofy, but this is going to be a book that I am going to go find. I'm kind of in the mood for a different book. I just don't know what my mood is. So we're going to do something a little bit different, something I haven't done before. And we're going to go ahead and read the first couple pages of a couple books to figure out which book I'm going to be reading for the day. And that's kind of the main plan of this video, is figuring out what book I'm going to read. But I don't know what mood I'm in. And I know that sounds really odd, but I've been reading a bunch of spooky books for spooky season, and I'm ready for something else, but I don't really know what that is. So I thought the best way to figure that out is just read a couple of pages of a couple different books. So we're gonna go find a couple books. I have book stacks all over my apartment. It's actually kind of ridiculous. So we're gonna go through all my book stacks and figure out which ones look more interesting. And we're gonna read a couple pages. Then I thought, before we get too invested in our book, invested in the softness, we're going to go ahead and make some veggies as well. So I figured we can make some roasted veggies. This is a very passive and easy dinner. This is something I love making, especially when I'm home alone, because it's something quick and easy, but also delicious and full of really great veggies. So somewhat healthy. And before we sit down and relax for the rest of the evening, I have one little craft. And I know you're thinking, Melissa, I thought this was supposed to be a slow video. It is slow, I promise. This craft is going to be really, really easy. I just thought I would make this as kind of like getting ready for the holiday season. I'm trying to make some homemade gifts this year just because it's easier. And I want to try something out today. So we're going to do that together. And it's an easy one that I think we can do together. Yep. And then, as the night is coming to a close, we're going to cozy up on the sofa, cozy up with one of the cats. Hopefully they come out and want to cuddle with me. And we're going to enjoy the book that we chose. So I think that's the idea for this video. I hope you are excited, because I'm excited, because I am looking for a nourishing, cozy day. I know most likely the day is going to end. I'm going to feel still tired and exhausted, but it's the idea that counts. So let's go ahead and see if we can find some books and figure out what we're going to be reading today. So grab yourself something deliciously cozy and deliciously yummy. Cozy up on the sofa, a chair, a school bus, wherever you are. I don't really know a school bus, maybe like a city bus. And let's go ahead and find some books. Okay, so we have a few books. We have 9 books. I know you're thinking, Melissa, that's too many books, but just hold on with me. I have 2 mangas. I'm not really sure if I'm in the mood for a manga, but I thought I would grab them just to kind of see how I'm feeling. But let's go ahead and start through these books. So we're gonna go ahead, grab one. I'll read you maybe a line or 2 so you can see what you think as well. Maybe you can find a book that you're thinking about reading as well. But by the end of this, we will find one book that we are going to read together. So let's start off with Yakuza and Stray Kitten. Oh, ex-Yakuza. Yeah, it's also, I mean, I had to grab this one. It has a little stray kitty on it. So let's go ahead and see what this one's about. Okay, so I'm not sure if I'm going to read this one today, but I think it's actually starting off really cute. We have a character, we don't know his name because it's literally the first 2 pages, and it looks like he's leaving a mobbish type thing, and they are begging, this main character, the mob, is begging him not to leave, and he's pretty much saying, adios, I'm washing my hands of this. Not pretty much, just pretty much, that's exactly what he says. And as he's walking, there is a box that has a sign that says, please take me home, and there's a little tiny kitten in it. But the kitten can also talk in this manga. So the kitten says, who abandons a cat on a rainy winter day? Good gravy, it's cold. Help me, you stupid humans. And so far, everyone has ignored me. It's quite little cutie. It's very small. I'm quite interested in it. I'm not sure if I'm feeling it, but I think it's a good start for that cozy feel. Next, we have Witch Hat Atelier, the kitchen version. I haven't finished the complete manga series of Witch Hat Atelier, and I'm a little concerned that this is going to spoil me, but I figured I'd pick it up and see what my thoughts are. If you haven't read the manga Witch Hat Atelier, I recommend it. It's a great starter novel for any manga readers, or if you're wanting to be a manga reader, or if you're just wanting to see if manga's your thing. But I think it's just a fun little series. Oh, this reminds me a lot of Thanksgiving. This might be a really good one for around Thanksgiving time because he's trying to figure out what he's making. The main dude from Witch Hat Atelier, the teacher, and he's trying to decide what he wants to make. And he says, let's see, a caprese yam will take time, so I best start with that. And it's just really cute. It's just really fun. It's really lighthearted. But like I said, I'm not really sure if I'm in for a manga, but I have options. Now we're going to actually get to the novels. So we have Stephen King, Dr. Sleep. This is the sequel to The Shining. I read The Shining, I think, 5 years ago, 6 years ago. So it's been a little bit of time, but I'm not going to be honest, I haven't really forgot what happened in The Shining. And we bought the mini-series, so not the movie, but we bought the mini-series that goes actually really, really closely with the novel. So I'm not worried about rereading the first one. I think I'll be okay by just going directly into Dr. Sleep. But let's go ahead and see what we're up with. Chapter 1, Lockbox. Ooh, the chapter's really short. I think I'm going to go off of pages and not chapters because these chapters are super short. It's half of a page. So I think I'm going to do a couple pages and not necessarily the first chapter. The first line though, on the second day of December in a year when Georgia Peanut Farmer was doing business in the White House, one of Colorado's great resort hotels burned to the ground. The Overlook was declared a total loss. If you don't remember, the Overlook Hotel was the hotel from book number 1. Okay, so I'm only a couple pages in. Yeah. And it's definitely like very like in that horror genre, of course. It's Stephen King. It's fascinating actually because we start back off immediately after the Overlook Hotel boiler explodes. If you haven't seen the movie, heard about this or anything like that, I don't think I'm spoiling you, but it's okay. And we kind of jump through time quickly at the very beginning. It's definitely one of those books where I've been very curious to pick up because I'm quite I want to know what happened afterwards. I mean, that's always been a story of like what happened to Danny afterwards. So I'm curious. I'm curious. But first, I want to move on to our next book, which is The Spell Shop by Sarah Beth Durst. This has been on my reading list for a little while now. At least I bought it on my birthday, so it's been on my reading list, and it was supposed to be on my reading list for fall. I just didn't get to it, but that's okay. I think it'll still fit for the season. But I'm going to go ahead and read the first couple pages. I read the first line before, but I'm going to read the first couple pages to see how I feel. But maybe you want to hear the first line. Kyla never thought the flames would reach the library. She was dimly aware that most of the other librarians had fled weeks ago, when the revolutionaries took the palace and defenestrated the emperor in rather dramatic display. But surely they wouldn't touch the library. After all, there were books here. Highly flammable, irreplaceable books. I mean, that's always the scary part with books and fire. Books are flammable. I looked up defenestrated because that is a new word for me. And it is a very interesting word. It's throw somebody out a window. Remove or dismiss somebody from a position of power or authority. And I'm curious as to if they were thrown from a window or just removed from their seat or their position. But let's go ahead and continue on. I'm curious as to where the rest of this book is going. I've never read further than the first kind of couple lines. So, Okay. I think it's quite cozy. It's a little exciting at the beginning. And I think it's a really good start. I think this is going to be harder than I thought. The next book I've had not on my reading list for a while, but it's one I've heard quite a bit about in the sense of a book that I should most definitely read, especially as a woman, and that's Women Who Run with Wolves by Clarissa Pinkola Estes. And I actually don't know very much about this. I just know it's been highly recommended by a lot of different readers, and I thought that I would pick it up. So I'll read you the first line because that's always fun. Okay, I think it's a collection of different stories. Because there's a table of contents. Fascinating. Do we read the introduction or do we just go directly into the story? It's always a contemplation by me. I never know if you should read the introduction because I know some introductions actually give away some of the main plots of the story. What are your thoughts? Do you read the introduction before or after you read the book? I would love to know your opinion because this lady needs some help on that one. But I'm going to read the first couple lines of the first chapter because I think that makes most sense in the situation. Chapter 1, The Howl, Resurrection of the Wild Woman. La Loba, the Wolf Woman. I must reveal to you that I am not one of the divine who march into the desert and return gravid with wisdom. I have traveled many cook fires and spread angel bait around every sleeping place. Haha, okay. There is a table of contents. There is a bibliography and notes. Okay. And the notes also hold information that is important for the text. I'm already quite intrigued, but also extremely confused, especially since I think the notes are very important. Okay. I tried reading the first chapter, but I'm actually going to read the introduction. So I've decided I'm going to read the introduction for this one. But I'm still curious, do you normally read introductions? So the introduction, Singing Over the Bones. Wildlife and the wild women are both endangered species. Over time, we have seen the feminine instinctive nature looted, driven back, and overbuilt. For long periods, it has been mismanaged like the wildlife in the wild lands. For several thousand years, as soon and as often as we turn our backs, it is relegated to the poorest land in the psyche. The spiritual lands of wild women have throughout history been plundered or burnt, dens bulldozed, and natural cycles forced into unnatural rhythms to please others. Ooh, I don't I'm gonna make a decision right now. I don't think I'm ready for this. I think this is a book that I would feel more comfortable reading in spring, maybe. And I know that sounds odd, but right now I'm looking for something cozy, and this seems very philosophical and deep and heavy, and I don't know if I'm ready for that right now. So I was going to wait to the very end to share which book I'm going to read, but I'm actually making an executive decision and saying this one is just not in the right situation right now. Yeah. Okay. Now we're doing Untold Night and Day by Bei Sao. Yeah. Let's jump into the first sentence for you, and then I'm going to read a couple pages into the book. A former actress, Emma, was sitting in the second flight of stairs in the audio theater and the guest book in her hand. She was alone. At that point, nothing else had been made known. Ooh. Okay, I'm going to continue on. I am fascinated. I don't know much about some of these books because they are books that I've purchased based on recommendations, or I've read the back and they found fascinating, or something. And I don't remember why I picked this one up, but it sounds super unworldly. So the back of the book, I'll just read the summary for you as well so you can kind of have a better idea of what's happening. Finishing her last shift at Seoul's only audio theater for the blind, Kim Ami heads into the night with her former boss, searching for a missing friend. The following day, she looks after a visiting poet, a man who is not as he seems. Unfolding over a night and a day in the sweltering summer heat, their world's order gives way to chaos. The edges of reality start to fray, and the past intrudes on the present in increasingly disorienting ways. The first 5 pages were so odd. Okay. We have 3 more books. See, it didn't take very long at all. The Blanket Cat by Koshi Shigematsu. This I've had for a little while, and I love these types of books. So let me read the first little sentence for you, or 2. 2 nights, 3 days. That was how long you could keep them. You're probably thinking that isn't very long, the pet shop owner would say to his customers once they'd signed the contract. He would deliver these words in an identical tone and with an identical expression every single time. Any longer and you start to get attached. Meanwhile, the cat starts worrying it might never be coming back here. Doesn't work out well for anyone, believe me. I'm going to keep reading. I was going to keep reading to you, but then I realized I've already read a little bit too much. So I'm going to jump into the story, and I'll be back with you in a moment. Oh, goodness gracious. I mean, this is probably a good paragraph for any cat owner or wannabe cat owner to know. Because I do know that cat bones and onions are both bad for cats, but I didn't know about this abalone. I don't know what abalone is. Oh, fascinating. Okay, so abalone are sea snails. So I don't think many people in Washington or in the U.S. are eating these, but I have no idea. Maybe you are. I've never seen them, but I know here in Germany we are not going to find them. Oh, come on. Focus. So I don't think we have to worry about it, but I'm still going to read this paragraph because I still find it quite fascinating. Onion is poison to a cat's bloodstream. It breaks down their red blood cells, and turns them anemic. Abilene makes their ears swell up and turn bright red. In bad cases, they develop dermatitis. And if you don't do anything about that, their ears fall right off. As for chicken bones, they splinter when a cat bites them. Don't want them piercing their throats or an organ, do we? Whew, that's very intense for a couple paragraphs into this book, but I think it's good for everybody to know, because I do know about the onion thing. At least cats shouldn't eat onions, and I do know about the chicken bone thing, so I wouldn't be surprised if those are true facts, but I haven't fact checked it, so just as a thought. Anyway, I'm going back in. I've picked up this book a couple times and I've been meaning to read it, and it's just so, I'm so curious as to how the stories will continue. It sounds so sweet, so it's also a good option. Now a fun one that I have been also meaning to read for a very, very long time is The Fifth Season by N.K. Jemisin. I've been meaning to read this one, but I don't read fantasy very often, so I haven't picked it up. But have also heard so many amazing things about this, and I've heard it's one of the better fantasy collections, and all 3 books are already out, so it's kind of like, maybe? So why not? And also the writing in this one is humongous. So let's go ahead and start with page 1. Oh, we have a map. Look at that. Kind of looks like Ireland. Prologue. You are here. Let's start with the end of the world, why don't we? Get it over with and move on to more interesting things. First, a personal ending. There is a thing she will think over and over in the days to come, as she imagines how her son died and tries to make sense of something so innately senseless. What a really good start. So I'm going to continue on. I'll be back in a moment. So this is a pretty immersive story. I think this would be actually quite fun because it's one book that will get me lost, and not lost in the sense of I don't know where I am, but in the sense of just kind of diving deep. The first few pages were actually quite immersive, and I think that's always really good with a book that you're trying to just get lost in. So this one might also be a really good fit, but that means I would also have to read the other 2. But I also just want to read the series because it's just been on my wanting to read list for a while. So another really good option. The last book on this list is Black Cake by Charmaine Wilkerson. This has also been another book that's been on my reading list for a while. And I don't really know why I haven't picked it up. It's not that I haven't been wanting to read it. All these books are books I've been wanting to read. I just haven't picked this one up. And maybe it's time. But let's go ahead and jump to also the prologue. Okay, then, 1965. He should have known the day that Hak-Gwe, wife of his, ran away from home. Hak-Gwe may not be pronounced correctly, I do apologize. Should have known the day he saw his daughter swimming in a bay as a storm bore down on her. Should have known when his parents dragged him to this island and changed their names. He stood at the water's edge, now, watching the waves crash white against the rocks, waiting for his daughter's body to wash ashore. Holy moly. Whew, okay. I'm going to continue reading, and we'll see what we think. Yeah, we'll see what we think. Okay, so this book starts off very intensely. I wasn't actually expecting any of that from this novel. I don't know what I was expecting, but I wasn't expecting that. So this is also quite fascinating, and I feel like I could get lost in this novel as well. So I'm going to figure out which one I'm going to choose. Don't worry, you're going to find out. Don't worry. But I also want to go ahead and start on my veggie bake so that way I can actually have it for lunch and dinner, because I'm feeling quite lazy today and don't want to make 2 meals. So I'm going to have it for lunch and dinner. So I'm going to go ahead and head into the kitchen. Don't worry. You will find out which book I'm choosing, and then I'll share it with you. Okay. Okay, so it is weirdly 5:20 and it's already pitch black dark outside. So it's starting to get cozy and comfy, and I'm somebody who will fall asleep immediately if I sit on the sofa and read. I don't know why, my body just says, hey, it's time to take a nap. So I'm gonna sit out on the floor. I have my book here. I did end up choosing Untold Night and Day. One of the reasons I decided on this book is because it's a bit shorter, and I thought I could finish it tonight, and I wanted something that I could finish in a day, and I think all of the other books I had were going to take me a little bit longer. One of them that I thought would be actually really good to start was Fifth Season, and there was another one I was contemplating too. The Blanket Cat. I think both of those books would have been really nice, but I knew I wouldn't have the time to finish them today. So I thought maybe this one would be really good. It's very atmospheric, very weird, and it gripped me quite quickly when I was reading the first couple of pages. So I think this is going to be a good one. And for my little clay activity, I popped these in the oven so they would dry faster. I haven't painted them yet, so they're not done. But they're these little thumb thingies. So you can go ahead. This is really nerdy. But so if you have your book open and you're holding it, you have to always hold like this, right? Well, these things make it so you can just hold it with your thumb. How neat is that? I think it's super cool. I know it's super weird. But I've been seeing them all over online, and I thought these would actually be a really cool Christmas present because they're really easy to make. They didn't take very long. And you don't have to have them sized for a thumb because they can be any size. So like this is way too big for my thumb, but it works perfectly because it's just holding the page open like that. And it's made out of clay, so it's a little bit nicer. And I thought I could paint these, but I didn't want to paint them tonight because today I just wanted to do a really easy craft that wasn't going to take very long. And this is really, really neat. So I think I'm going to make more of these. I'm going to paint them and make them all cute like. But yeah. Thought I would just give it a try today just to see how they work. And I think I have to come up with a template, but I don't think that would be too hard. It was just kind of eyeballing it today. Yeah, so I made those today, which was fun. And now I just kind of want to sit back and read my book and enjoy the rest of my evening. I know today there wasn't a lot going on, but that was kind of the purpose. It was kind of to take it slow and not think too much. I think it's really easy to feel overwhelmed and feel like we're just never getting rest. So it's really, really good to purposely say, hey, today I'm purposely not doing anything. And I know if you're like me, the days where we don't do anything, we feel like we kind of like wasted the day or missed out on something. But I've learned that if I tell myself, no, today is meant to just relax and read and not do anything, then I actually feel like, okay, I give myself permission. And I know that sounds so odd, but just giving yourself permission and saying, hey, it's okay, then it's a little bit easier. So I highly recommend doing that. So that's today's video. Very cozy, chill, a little bookish, a little bakish, and nothing too much. And I think that's exactly what I needed, and I hope that's exactly what you needed. I think I'm going to sit back and relax and read my book. I have the rest of the evening to do nothing, so I thought I would sit in my little comfy little area I just made because it's going to keep me awake and just enjoy my book. So I wanted to thank you first and say really, I appreciate you hanging out with me. It's really, really lovely. If you did like this video though, make sure you give it a like so I know that this is content that you like to enjoy. And if you want to continue watching other baking, cozy, and bookish content, make sure you subscribe because I do try to post at least once a week. And after November, I must admit, it'll be every other week, but still I try to create a very cozy atmosphere here so you have a place to come every time you're looking for a little gentle relaxation and slowness. So thank you so much for being here. I hope you have a fantastic day, a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you guys next time in my next video. Yeah, I'm not going to say ciao because I'm going to read a little bit and we're just going to fade out. Sound good? Perfect. So I hope you get comfy and cozy, and enjoy your book that you picked as well. Oh, if you did pick a book, let me know what book you picked, because I'm curious.